is muted. Hi, Ms. Washington. How are you?
Good. Nice to meet you one-on-one.
Nice to meet you one-on-one. We keep seeing each other in big virtual
Yes.
groups. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me. I truly appreciate it.
We are already up and running. We hit the ground recording, so I'm going to jump right into it if you don't mind, but we're human beings. Throw at me any questions you may have along the way. I'll offer my introduction and then we'll get started. Yeah.
Okay, great.
All right, by way of introduction, good evening. Welcome to the Hartsdale Neighbors Association School Board Candidate Interviews. I am Samantha Ives. I am the chair for the Education Committee for the Hartsdale Neighbors Association. In a moment, I'll be meeting with Kiana Washington. But briefly, HNA is a group of passionate volunteers who foster neighborhood engagement, community-based problem solving, enhance civic awareness, and provide a vehicle for interaction on community-based efforts, which brings us to tonight. There are 7 questions, same questions for each candidate, and each question will have a 3-minute time limit. I am timing you. I'm not going to go totally crazy about it, but we'll try to keep each other on point, okay?
Yes.
We're ready. Any questions before we get started?
Nope, I'm ready.
All right, thank you. As a way of getting started, please introduce yourself and please tell us why you're running for school board.
Sure. Hello, my name is Kiana Washington, and first and foremost, thank you to HNA for having me tonight and letting my voice be heard. So I truly appreciate that. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I have 3 boys. I am a graduate of Woodlands High School. My oldest son is a graduate, and I have 2 boys that are right now in school at Woodlands High School. So, I'm also an elder at my church. I have a lot of faith in my Lord, and I'm an educator. I've been an educator for the past 23 years. So that's a little bit about Kiana. And I also reside on the Fairview side of Greenburgh. Why do I want to run for the Board of Education? I think that my background in education, my experience, the fact that I'm a parent, I'm a community member, I believe all those things can really help me to be a voice for the community and to really work with administration so that we can truly have the public school system that we all really want for Greenburgh Central School District.
Thank you. Your second question is 2 parts. In what ways do you see the school succeeding now, the school district, and in what ways do you think the district needs improved?
So I do think our school district succeeded in this whole pandemic. 2020 took everyone, for a loop. I did appreciate that when it was coming time for the 2020-2021 school year, that there was an option for our students that I kept my children home. So I do appreciate that. I do believe that with all of the mandates and the CDC guidelines that we have done the best that we could do in this type of circumstance. The communication with the parents, students trying to be as safe and healthy as they can be, allowing my children were even able to play some sports. They won the regional championship for the bowling. My senior was able to do basketball and football, for his senior year. They're trying to do a prom. I just think those things, just the fact that students are having a little bit of normalcy within a pandemic, I do believe we succeeded in that.
Thank you.
Okay,
right. In what ways? No, I'm giving you the prompt that you're about to give me back. What ways do you think we still need improvement?
Well, one way that I do think, definitely our facilities. I believe we have to get our buildings up to code and beyond. I mean, that's just one way. Another way, I believe, is technology. We should improve and make sure that every student has a device in their hands that they can go home with from pre-K all the way to 12 and really start to improve on what is called the digital curriculum. So let me just give an example. My son was in AP history last year before the pandemic, and I remember having a conversation with the teacher, and she said, yeah, I'm sorry the book is so heavy, but there is a digital version. And I did bring it up to the curriculum, the educational committee. At that time, they weren't moving in that direction. But now with the pandemic, we have to be more flexible. So I'm really hoping that we can increase our digital curriculum so that our students have flexibility.
Great, thank you. What are your expectations for the new superintendent in her first year on the job?
So honestly, I kind of would like Dr. Iverson to just get in and start doing what needs to be done. But my real expectation is for her to evaluate, for her to really understand the culture and climate. But one thing that I would love for her to do is bring back some of that Greenberg pride. I'm willing to just, if I am elected, to work with her, to help her in any way to build policies that can make our students have a better experience at school, and the community can be more engaged. I know she comes with a vast knowledge of how to bring up the reading scores and the math scores. So I'm really hoping that she will focus definitely in our elementary schools from pre-K to 3, so that all of our students, by the time they leave 3rd grade, this is my hope, that they all will be reading on grade level. So I'm hoping that she will definitely be able to do that.
Great, thank you. You're doing so well on time. It's amazing. I keep having to reset my timer. Very nice, concise answers. Thank you. Please, can you tell me about a time that you have had a positive influence in a board meeting, a community forum, a community group? Your choice.
Okay, so I'm going to think just recently, my son was, during the pandemic, he was in class and I was looking at him doing his math and I was saying, well, how are they really looking at the way he's thinking about this math problem? So I remember talking with some of the math teachers and they were just saying they did not have certain platforms. So there's like things like Nearpod and Peer Deck and Jamboard, that what happens, the students can literally write their answers and teachers can see them writing and correct them as they go along. So I did bring this up at a couple of board meetings. I did bring it up, I believe, at our CEC meeting. And I'm really proud to say that Greenberg has adopted Peer Deck. And I know I think they had like a subscription or a trial of Nearpod. So I hope one day that we will have Jamboard, which is part of the Google Suite. And also, a while ago, I was part of the 5-year strategic planning committee. So I thought that was really exciting and very, I learned a lot from that. So those two things, I believe, that were positive contributions that I brought to Greenberg Central School District.
Great, thank you. I have a memory of my daughter using or telling me about Nearpod. She's teaching me all kinds of things these days.
Oh, so it's wonderful.
All right, please, can you tell me, what is your greatest strength as a leader? And on the flip side of that, in what ways do you feel you need improvement?
Well, actually, as a leader, I feel that one of my greatest strengths is I consider myself as a servant leader. So that means I'm a leader that understands that I'm a resource. So I'm not the top down approach. I am, what do you need? Let me try to find out what I can get for you to make your job easier. So one way that I do think I can improve, I was at the board meeting, one of the parents, when I was principal at RJ Bailey, she stated that I didn't stop her son from being bullied. And I said, wow, that really hit me at the core, because I remember that situation so like it was yesterday. And I know that I tried to do as many things as I could, as an administrator. But for a parent to still have that feeling, I'm a parent. And to be very transparent, my son, the youngest, he was literally bullied by that same individual in a younger, like I think it was 2nd or 3rd grade. And to have a parent feel that way about your leadership, that means the way I can improve is by letting people know a little bit more what I stand for, letting them understand who I am. Maybe I just need to, I don't stand for this, or, communicate a little bit better where I stand and what I advocate for. Even, a parent, that's their child. So I know when my child was being bullied, it's you have that feeling like you can't, you want everyone to do, but you can't. It's just not a good feeling. But maybe if I was able to communicate with that parent a little bit more and let her know what I stand for, maybe she wouldn't still have that feeling. So I could definitely improve on maybe that part of my leadership style.
Sure. Thank you. Switching directions a little bit, the budget for next year has been proposed. We really hope residents will go out on May 18th and vote yes to support the budget. That is ready for your vote. What do you see as the top 3 budget priorities moving forward?
So the top 3 facilities. Number 1. And then I do believe, I said technology earlier, but I do believe technology, making sure that I know, I'm hoping all buildings have adequate bandwidth, Wi-Fi, have the resources, the computers, the laptops, the iPads, whatever is needed, all the programs that are needed to be in this 21st century. We cannot go back to what it used to be. We cannot go just back to pencil and pen. Like, we can use that, but that has to be one aspect. It needs to be more hands-on with technology, because that's where our children are going. They are surpassing us in that field. So I'm really hoping there. And then the third thing, teachers are the backbone of our educational system. So let's pour more professional development into them. Even during this pandemic, I felt that they could have had more professional development so that we could build their capacity when it comes to even giving them new platforms. We could build the capacity on even how to reach our students with social emotional learning, build their capacity on reaching the students that were just dealing with so much stress. So I think facilities, technology, and professional development, we really have to focus.
Thank you. I appreciate that. We're already to our final question. It
Okay.
has a couple of parts to it. I'll give you time to answer in full. Anyone interested to learn more about you may search online. It's the world that we live in. What do you think they will find, and what would you like them to know from you directly about those search results?
So I thought this was a great question. It made me realize that I was Googleable. So when you go on Google, you see me becoming the RJ Bailey principal. You see a petition to reinstate me as the RJ Bailey principal. You see my Christian faith, because you'll see my church. You'll see my family values. You'll see my family. You'll see different things, because I was like, wow, I didn't even know those things were even on Google. So what I would like people to know, especially about the whole RJ Bailey, I know so many people have questions about what happened. We had a security malfunction in 2018. And as everyone knows, there was an individual who was a community member, a former student, that did not get to students, but came partly in the building. And, they told me something's wrong with the system. I made my phone calls, and we found out the status of that individual. Immediately spoke to the superintendent, but as the leader, Mrs. Washington, the principal, that's on you, untenured principal. But those are the things that happened. It was a really tragic moment in my life, but I learned so much from it. I had to make some decisions, what was best for my family, what was best for my career. I prayed about it. I talked to my husband, I talked to my family. And as much as it hurt, I resigned from Greenburgh Central School District. And what I learned in that moment in time was that some of the things I couldn't talk about, some of the things I didn't agree with. As an employee, I could never tell you. But as a community member, I could fight a little bit more. I can advocate. From my knowledge, I can say what needs to happen. Not all bad things are happening in Greenburgh, but there are some things that we just need to work together to make sure, all about our students. So, those are some of the things you'll see. Those are some of the things you'll want to know about me. I learned so much. I'm in New York City now. I'm assistant principal down there. The professional development in the city really over exceeded my, expectation. I'm learning even more. And I'm really excited about where I am and what I'm learning. And I do believe that will also help me be a better trustee if I'm elected at the Board of Education. So I do thank you for that last question, because it really gave me a time to reflect and to kind of tell my story. So thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you for being transparent and forthcoming and taking a moment to take that time. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
How can this, this is not an official question, but I'm sure we all want to know, how can people reach you? Do you want people to reach you? Would you rather they are directed to your social media? What's next for the people who are watching this interview and want to learn more?
So if anyone wants to learn more, they can email me at Kee, wash, like you wash your face, 1972 at Gmail. That's not the year I was born. I'm joking. Um, so
It's so funny how we all just assume those things.
but it is the year, I'll say. Kee wash 1972 at gmail.com. They can email me there. Please go to the social media and contact me, and hopefully we can meet. Hopefully we'll have some other sessions where we can meet again, but I do thank you for this time.
Great, thank you. I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate your concise and thoughtful answers. I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, and I'll see you
Thank
again
you.
somewhere.
I'm sure we have a meeting coming up somewhere. I'll see you
I'm
soon.
sure.
Thank
Have
you.
a good one.
You too.
Bye-bye.